Hi everybody, it's Sebastian Boyer, the approved guy, coming at you live with a tip for the day on business credit building. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the 5 C's of financing, starting with the first C, which is going to be character. So the 5 C's are character, capacity, conditions, capital, and collateral. The first C is character. So what is character? Character is basically your credit history. So obviously there's 2 types of credit. There's your personal credit, and then there's your business credit. Your personal credit looks at you personally, and that's measured by Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Of course, there's a lot of variables that go into your personal credit that determine if your personal credit is good or bad and if you can qualify for funding. Your business credit is primarily based on Dun & Bradstreet, but there's also Experian business credit as well as Equifax business credit. There are a few others as well, but we're going to focus on those for the purpose of these tips. So today we're going to again go over personal credit and business credit in a nutshell. So first, personal credit. What matters? Well, what's going to matter on your personal credit is, number 1, do you have any derogatory items such as tax liens, judgments, bankruptcies, late payments, open collections, unpaid child support? These things must be resolved. Sometimes you can resolve them yourself by disputing directly with the credit bureaus, but in some cases you may need to hire an attorney or a credit restoration expert that can help you remove or clear up these derogatory items. If you do nothing about them, they're going to stay on your credit for 7 years. So it makes sense to take action, unless you're a couple months out from 7 years, of course. Otherwise, you might have 4, 5, 6, or a full 7 years to go before your credit's going to be restored. Number 2 is the age and the size of your accounts. These are a major factor in your personal credit and what you can get approved for in funding. So of course you can have a great credit score, but if the depth of your credit is very young and you don't have seasoned big credit limits, it's going to limit the amount of funding that you can get. So start building credit as soon as you can if you haven't started doing so yet, and of course take good care of it. One thing you never want to do is you never want to close credit. A lot of people will say, oh, I've paid my credit off in full, I don't want to keep that account open anymore. Well, the longer you keep that account open is the more history you have on that account. So it makes more sense to keep the account open even if it has a 0 balance, and just use it sparingly so you don't lose that valuable credit history. Okay, keep your credit accounts open. Do not close them because you lose your credit history. Number 3, your active revolving credit accounts, they must have under a 35% balance to limit ratio. So this is the ratio of your utilization of your credit compared to your available limit. So for example, if you have a $10,000 credit card and your balance is $5,000, that's a 50% utilization. That's high. So what that's going to do is it's going to reduce your credit scores, and any banks or creditors looking to issue you funding, it's going to reduce the amount that they're going to approve you for, or in some cases just flat out decline you. So what you want to do is bring your balances down to under 35%, and keep in mind that when you pay a credit card or a lender and you bring your revolving credit down and you make that payment, it might update with that bank or lender within 24 hours, but it's not going to reflect on your credit bureau until the reporting date on that card. And that could be 24 hours, it could be 30 days. It's going to be unique and different. It's not the same as the due date. So you want to check with your credit card company when you make the payment, what is the reporting date that the information is going to reflect on all 3 credit bureaus. Check your credit after that date. You should see the balance has updated and it's a lower balance, and you're going to see your credit scores jump up. As well, you're going to be able to qualify for the funding and the loans that you want to get approved for. Number 4, your name, your employer, your current address, date of birth. These details are not always correct. You have to keep in mind, in some cases, a human being is data entering information into these credit bureaus. We've seen 800 credit scores with the year 0 for the year of birth. Just imagine you get declined because of something so silly that you could have fixed by simply contacting the credit bureau, providing them with your proof of identity, and they would update the year of birth so it's the correct year of birth and not the year 0. But it's not just the year of birth. It's, again, your current address. That matters because you're applying, and the address you enter on the application should be on your credit report. Same thing with your current employer. So these little details can make a big difference. Make sure you fix that. Number 5, an excessive amount of inquiries can lead to you getting declined. So a lot of folks will just go shopping for credit, and you have a much greater chance of getting approved on your first few applications. But after 2 or 3, you're going to start getting declined just because they see you're shopping for credit and it looks risky. So Be very wary of working with a broker or someone who's going to shop your credit out. And also, don't just blindly apply for funding. Work with an expert like me and my team who can help you apply for the right loans and the right funding that you qualify for, so you make the most out of every inquiry. Does that make sense? All right, transitioning, we're going to quickly touch on business credit. Business credit, again, is going to primarily be looking at Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax business credit. The main thing to start, the first step, is to make sure your company is credible. That means that you're legitimate and the little details have been taken care of. Just like your personal credit, your name and those details, they matter. So when it comes to your business name, your EIN number, your business licenses, your records with the Secretary of State, they all must match. And it's very important that you have a physical business address. You can use a company like Regis Offices. You can use several companies that offer virtual offices with a legitimate business address instead of your home address. This makes a big difference when you're applying for a business loan or business credit and you're putting it under the business EIN number, that you have a legitimate business address, not your personal address. Same thing for your phone number. You want to have a legitimate business phone number. Several services where you can get a phone number very cost effectively for your business, designated to your business, and you want to make sure that that phone number is listed with 411 directory listings. That does matter. Additionally, you want to have a website with your domain name, and you want to have an email that matches your domain name. So guys, listen, it's okay to use Gmail, it's okay to use Yahoo for day-to-day use, but when you're applying for a loan for your business and you're using a Yahoo Gmail account, you know, it looks like you're not serious, like maybe this is a hobby and not like a real business. Big companies don't use Gmail, they don't use Yahoo, they have a domain name for their business, and you want to have that set up. For example, seb@theapprovedguy.com or info@businesscredit101.com. Now I can still use Yahoo and Gmail, and I can actually set it up with those email accounts so everything goes to my Yahoo or Gmail for ease of use. But for legitimacy and credibility, I want to make sure I have my email set up with my domain name. Guys, it's so ineffective, it's so cost effective and easy to do, and it's a simple step that a lot of business owners miss that will cause you to get instantly declined or get a lower approval. So don't take shortcuts. Set yourself up right. Make sure your personal credit is intact. Make sure your business credibility is intact. And that's the first step in establishing and building business credit. And that's the first step in making sure you're going to get qualified and approved for loans. So today we covered the first C in the 5 C's of financing, which is your character. We're going to continue with our next video with the second C and move on to the rest. Thank you for joining me today. Again, you can follow me on social media at theapprovedguy.com. Visit my website, which is going to be theapprovedguy.com, businesscredit101.com, and also orangefi.com.